Well again, YouTube, and welcome to what's becoming a bit of a regular for me, live streaming on a Thursday. I know what a lot of you are probably thinking, such a lovely day, why aren't you out on the bike? And if I'm honest, that's a really good question. But I tend to use the indoor trainer all year round, and I'd be interested to know if that's something that I'm alone in, because it certainly does feel weird even for me. But I kind of look at the indoor bike as a bit of a training tool more than anything, and my days begin at 5 with sort of 5.5 to 6k along the trails with the dogs, and then by the time I've got home, fed and watered them, got changed, I've got possibly up to an hour left before I need to be having a shower and getting ready for work. So just being able to nip down and jump on Zwift is a real bonus. Oh, here we go. First sprint coming up. God, I've forgotten how early that was on this course. Man. Oh, where was it? Yeah, it's you know, for me, just a bit of a training tool, this. And I'll be honest, even for someone like me that's accepting that this is just a training tool, you know, on a day like today, the thought of an hour on Zwift is about as appealing as the prospect of an evening with Nadine Dorries. But like I say, it's when the needs must, the devil drives. So I'm giving myself 40 minutes on the bike today. This, oh, I think I said I was on the Casse course. Forgive my French pronunciation. But I'm on the RGV course. So that's the flat. What's this? Just under 25k, about 133 meters of climbing, and if memory serves, I think a lot of that climbing comes at the end. So if I plan this right, I'll just be getting off the bike before the climbing starts. And you know that thing about training on indoors when the weather's good, it's kind of, for those who are familiar with the rules of cycling, to me it's kind of that Rule 9 mentality. I believe it is Rule 9 that says if you ride in adverse weather, you're a badass. And I think everyone takes that to mean, you know, winter, rain, wind, and that's fair, because that ain't a lot of fun. But equally, I think it can apply to something like this, where the you know, where you're just on a bike in conditions where sense is telling you you shouldn't be on the bike. Just going to turn the mic down a little bit. Is that better? Oh yes, in the yellows. Nice. And I was a little bit late starting this morning because I was getting all my kit set up here, and jumped on the bike. As you can probably tell, I've got a green screen behind me, and then I realised the first rule of Green Screen Club: don't wear a green jersey. It's a green screen club. Now I have tried to make my chat panel a little bit bigger. So I know I have been guilty. There is one of you who has kindly chatted me on both previous live streams, and I've completely missed it. So sincere apologies, but I'm hoping I should be able to read what comes up in chat today. I've got the settings, I've got the chat panel set to live chat. I did zoom in on it. So let's see if that works. In other news, I think, what are we, about 5-6 weeks in to get myself back with the plan, I'm down 12 kilos. So, you know, for anyone that says when you're over 50 it's hard to lose weight, I can confirm you're right. It is hard, but it's not impossible. There's that meme that springs to mind of the guy riding a bike. I think it's an amputee. He's got sort of like a prosthetic leg, and the caption is, if you want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. So, apologies if there's a little bit more extraneous noise on this today. For obvious reasons, I've got two fans going. I've got the headwind down there, which is ramped right up, because with my fitness where it is at the moment, and sorry, with my fatness where it currently is at the moment, I'll set that little sucker to ramp up to max speed when the heart rate gets above 120, and it's doing that quite nicely now. But as you can probably see in the back of shot there, I've got a 20-inch floor fan on the ground, which is dragging air in through an open door. So in addition to the weight loss, which I'm very pleased with, in the last 3 weeks I've had 2 increases in FTP according to Garmin. Now I haven't done a full FTP test, and I should. But I think I put a video out the last time I tried an FTP test on Zwift, and I think that went wrong. And if I'm honest, oh, thank you very much. Yes, Norman. Sheets. I always feel really bad because there are various people who always seem to give me a ride on Zwift, and I guess what that is where they're just getting set up. They've opened their companion app, and it does the give a ride on thing, and then I always look at the end of my ride to see if they're riding, and they've probably smashed one out quicker than me and got off the bike already. So if you are one of those people who gives me a ride on and I don't respond to it, it's not me being ignorant. I think it's bad timing on my part. So yes, 12 kilos down, 2 FTP increases in the last 3 weeks. Things are looking up. Now what I'm doing at the moment with Zwift, I'm not doing anything too structured. I want to give myself just a couple of months of burning fat. So it's more about these sort of longer, steady rides for me. But as I've said before, I think Zwift is really good at putting the intervals in for you. If memory serves, I think there's another sprint coming up soon. What I'll do as well is, if I've only got sort of like 40 minutes on the bike, as I have this morning, tend to try and keep the heart rate up throughout. There is absolutely nothing scientific about that. It's just something I do. In terms of road rides, I'm still getting them in. I might occasionally get a midweeker in, dependent on what the wife's doing work-wise, and also whether she can bothered to get up and take the dogs out. But I'm still riding the Freerenager at the moment, and one of the reasons for that is, like, when I set out to lose some weight, I'd said to myself I'd got a specific goal in mind to get to before I started riding my decent carbon road bikes again. And that's purely because I was such a lump. I'd have been giving those frames probably a non-destructive test, hopefully non-destructive test, on every ride. But so I'm currently, I'd say, just a few kilos away from where I said to myself, back on the carbons. So in the next couple of weeks, I'll gradually be phasing the Planet X Evo back in, and then before summer's out completely, be back on the Trek Domane. That Domane has a special place in my heart. First carbon road bike, when in 2012 I'd really got into cycling, at a time when I had at that point halved my body weight from 25 stone to sort of 12 and a half. Treated myself with the Domane. Did my first multi-sport on that bike, the Great Notley duathlon, and a friend from the Trek Club loaned me a set of Traeger carbon aero bars, and I managed, I mean, it was only a short sprint duathlon, so the bike was something like 12 miles or something like that. Odd distances on that race, I think. And I held something like a 23 average, which I was well happy with. But it's the bike I did my first multi-sport on, the bike I rode coast to coast in a day, and as you'll have seen in other videos on my channel, the bike that just a couple of years ago I stripped back to the frame and rebuilt and renovated. Now that's running rotor Q rings, and I mean, I only had kind of one season before I laid it up. And that was kind of the season pre-COVID, and then it got laid up and I got head up literally, and everything went wrong. Oh, actually, thinking about it, I did Wimbledon on that bike as well. The 70.3 Exmoor. Jesus, what a race. When I entered it, a guy I know said to me, just don't do Wimbledon. I thought, being a lightweight man. And no, it wasn't. This geezer knew what he was talking about. It's I don't know if Ironman still offers that race. I think the year I did it, which was 2017, year after Ironman for me, I think that was the last year they ran that race. From what I understand, I think that's because a lot of the pros were abandoning it, with it being early season, particularly tough. Nothing more than a good excuse to give yourself an injury before the season had started in earnest. Right, sprint coming up. Like I say, I did want a steady ride today. So 2 weeks ago I did it in 42 seconds. I'll try and beat that. I have, would you believe it, I've had a couple of green jerseys on the sprints, and obviously those have happened on days when I wasn't live streaming. Do you? Oh, 10th. Thanks, man. And then the seconds off. I'll take that. Go. Oh, I've forgotten about the aqueduct. And I seriously don't know what's going on with the power-ups this morning. Thank you very much, Zwift. Not. It's Yep. Oh, thank God. Finally a power up. And, an axe cock under 90 metres of ascent left. Half an hour in, 10k to go. A hilly 10k though. So I reckon we're looking at probably an hour all in for this ride for me today, if I can keep it like this. Midfield on the Aquaduct KOM. I'll take that. That geezer wearing a mirror. Now that's a new one. Now I've got to the point where I've scored my Tron bike, there just doesn't seem to be any reason buying things in the store anymore, the drop shop or whatever they call it. But I do love me a gadget. I have to see. There's a gadget I'm missing out on. Little Hector's gone to sleep on the garden sofa outside the window there. He loves a drop of sunshine, that boy. I have to get him inside because he gets too hot. So in terms of cycling performance, I'm noticing that there's a bit of endurance coming back. I'm kind of finding, thank you very much, Peeping. I'm kind of finding that when I get sort of 3/4 excuse me, 3/4 distance on one of the longer routes, I'm still alright. Wind the clock back 6 weeks, and for one, I wouldn't have been picking any longer routes, and two, had I got to 3/4 distance, I'd have probably been hanging. I was riding one of the French routes the other day, and kind of casting my mind back to try and remember if in any way it reminded me of Vichy, and it didn't. But it wouldn't again. It's a fucking video game. Let's get ready for this. Time everyone. No point going too early. Yes. Hecky doodah. Top 10. I'll say that. Man. Whoa, Lordy. Just gonna stand. Apologies if I bump the mic. Just need to stretch the legs out. So look at that last segment. green jersey was before 5 and a bit quicker than me. Chapeau, my friend. On the bright side, I did beat those two boys. Thank you, Mr. Butts. Butts. South African, so that's probably boats, I guess. Tell me if I'm wrong. Right. I am, from here, going to give myself 10 minutes. So if I finish in 10 minutes, happy days. If I don't, you know what? I've got what I wanted out of it. And I have managed to get a PB on every sprint. Again, I'll take that. I managed to do that whilst live streaming. That's a first. And I even managed to line up the green screen properly this morning. I think the old power output has been reasonable as well throughout the ride. So I've now got 50 metres of climbing from here. I reckon this is doable. And again, apologies if anyone's commenting and I'm not seeing it. I don't know if it's my eyes adapting, but for some reason the text on the small monitor just looks clearer. I have been making a conscious effort to do more of this sort of stuff without my glasses on. I don't know. Can you sort of build focus muscles back? Possibly, I guess. Lots of these little rollers would do me. I do think, if memory serves, and it was only 2 weeks ago according to the sprints, but if memory serves, I think it's a long twisty turny climb, or not a climb, a gradient towards the end of this one. Which would make sense because on the map up there, if you look at where the start finish is, that's at a considerably higher elevation than I am at the moment. So if you've watched any of this morning, or perhaps if you're watching it later in the day, as always, you have my thanks and admiration for sticking with it. I am consciously trying to get one of these in a week, and I am consciously trying to get better with the technology. So, end game, you know, get myself fully with the plan. And get some genuine interaction going. And also, I think I need to publicise these better. It's not a case of build it and they will come. Yeah, this is the bit I was thinking of. And even though this is, I guess what you'd call a relatively flat course, it's still challenging. You know, it's got a little bit of elevation in it. Not much, a little bit. It's got that little cluster of sprints, like those. It's good stuff. Come on in. 14 metres of climbing. .6k left. You know, I'm going all the way today. Good stuff, 4%. This is what we like. If memory serves, there is a sprint at the end. If you're still watching, I'm not going to do that. I do believe in having a proper cool down. Steady climb, move like this. $15, $14, $13, $12, $11. Good rest. See, this is what I say about the way they kind of design these courses. Nice little intervals. And I honestly don't know if they plan that, but it's certainly how it comes across to me. Back on the gradient, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think we're done in terms of climbing. Oh man. Yep, certainly a course that, for me at least, keeps me honest. Lovely stuff. -2. 500 meters. Mont Saint-Michel. Here we come. But I'm going to finish it, not in style, but disrespectfully, I think. Like that. Right, 40 gears off. Spin, spin, spin. Well, if you've watched any, well in fact all of this, thank you very much YouTube. Going to be working on another video at the weekend, bit of an update, plus I want to talk about calling options, which seems relevant this time of year. Heart rate come down, dump that. Yeah, so, may I wish you a happy and productive Thursday. And I will catch you in the next